Hello everyone, in this video we're gonna talk about racism in Russia, what is it and what people think about it. Russia is a multinational country. This statement is given to us in schools, in TV reports and history textbooks. We're not gonna disagree with this since over 190 nationalities live in Russia, such as Russians, Tatars, Ukrainians, Bashkirs, Chuvars, Chechens, Armenians, Avars, Mordvinians, Kazakhs, Azerbaijanis, Dargins, Udmurs, Maria, Sechens, Belarusians, Kabardinians, Kimeks, Yakuts, Lezgins, Burats, Ingekush, Germans, Uzbeks, Tuvanians, Kalmyk, Karahes, Gypsies, Tajiks, Kalmyks, Slaks, Churches, Jews, Moldavians, Koreans, Tabasaran, Adai, Balkar, Turks, Nagais, Kyrgyz, Permian, Komi, Greeks, Cossacks, and many others. Even more nations were united in Soviet Union. To learn more about the relationship of nations in Russia, we have to look into our history. The beginning of so many nations living together was laid back in the 13th century AD. Back then, Russia was called Kievskaya Rus, and it was in a state of a strong fragmentation. Until 14th century, many territories of Russia began to unite around the capital of Grand Duchy of Lithuania. It included Gorodensk, Polotsk, Vitebsk, Kiev, and others. In the 14th century, Moscow Principality joined it and became the new capital. The end of the unification of Russia happened during the reign of Ivan III and his son Vasily III. And even then, Russia included people of Russian, Ukrainian, Belarusian, Kazakh nationalities, as well as Cossacks, Magyar people, Muslims, and many others. And the neighboring of nationalities only developed and increased in the course of wars, conquests, and integration of cultures. For example, the development of Siberia, the development of Far East, the creation of Soviet Union, the division of Berlin, and much more. In the Soviet Union, 15 countries were united. Moldavian, Armenian, Ukrainian, Azerbaijan, Georgian, Lithuanian, Belarusian, Uzbek, Latvian, Tajik, Estonian, Kyrgyz, Russian, Turkmen, Kazakh, SSR. We have sorted out the historical moment of unification of nations. Now let's look at the current state of interethnic relations in Russia. There are two main types of racism in modern Russia. Xenophobia is more widespread in Russia. In another way, we can call it ignorance racism. Roughly speaking, these are stereotypes imposed on us since our childhood by older people and old films. Of course, many of them come from somewhere and are in fact confirmed by some people. But there's not a lot of such people, and they are rather an exception to the rule than a pattern. Let's give an example of some stereotypes and start with the most widespread one. Russians wear hats with ear flaps and play balalaikas. Russians constantly drink vodka. Bears walk on the streets of Russia. These stereotypes are not relevant and actually never were. The same balalaika is used in only specialized circles or as a piece of furniture. And the other stereotype is that Russians are not welcoming. It would be more correct to say that Russians are not smiling. If you're a newcomer and you can find yourself in difficult situations, Russians will help you, but it's not going to be accompanied with a smile. Now let's talk about the stereotypes associated with other nationalities living in Russia. We will tell, of course, not all of them. For example, Armenians are assertive and cunning, they cannot be trusted, and they only walk in groups. This is not true, of course, there are such people, but it's a rarity. Kazakhs love to show off. It does exist, because the writer is Kazakh, but it's not as prevalent. Caucasians and Chechens are very hot-tempered and aggressive. That's mostly not true, but, in all nations there are narrow-minded people. Ukrainians are lazy and they love Sala. Of course, that's a lie. Azerbaijanis are uneducated. This is partly true because this happened as a result of undeveloped educational system in Azerbaijan, from which many people come to Russia to work and they don't get really prestigious jobs. And there are many biases. Today's youth in Russia understands the irrelevance of these stereotypes, but when meeting a new person, the initial impression and expectations from communication most often develop accordingly to such stereotypes. This happens because of films, fairy tales, and of course, our upbringing. What about racism as it is commonly understood? In Russia, there are some difficulties in cohabitation of some nations. There is a preformed opinion about each nation from which people may have difficulties. For example, some of them. Many landlords put a condition on a tenant to have Slavic appearance. There are also problems getting a job. Small and medium-sized businesses are characterized by nepotism, that is, the promotion of people of the same nationality. Some school teachers underestimate the marks of children of other nationalities, in particular, most often in the Russian language. However, these are rare cases. The stereotypes themselves are easily destroyed at a conscious age after communicating with somebody from that nation. So let's summarize our video. Racism is not that widespread in Russia since neighboring of many people began a long time ago. The real problem in Russia is xenophobia and prejudices. One might wonder how to fix it. In our opinion, the social, informational, and intellectual development of citizens is the best idea. The reason to think so is the modern youth that not only refuses to hang labels on people but also sneers at outdated foundations, translating stereotypes into humor which only brings people closer. On that note, our video has come to an end. If it was interesting for you, like it and subscribe to our channel. We're gonna tell everything about the culture and life in Russia. Share this video with your friends who are also interested in such videos, and also leave a comment below about the things you are interested to know. Thanks for watching and see you soon.